Hello, and welcome back to Shining from Within, the podcast where we explore the infinite amount of power and potential that lies within each and every one of us. I am your host with the most, Genevieve, and welcome back to part 4 of the thresholds, the human thresholds, and this is the final threshold that Mr. Martin is going to tackle, and it's sad, but this one is a big one. This one is great. Come closer, plug in your headsets, pay attention. This one is going to be deep. This one is entitled The Threshold of Pain.
Hello listeners, hello viewers. Pain. What comes to mind when you hear the word pain? Perhaps something unpleasant. As our American friends say, it sucks. Yeah, it's same situation. It's a similar situation. A situation whereby you're miserable, where you're hurt, and often times when you're hurt, certain things begin to happen. You want to leave the situation as fast as possible. Usually when you're in pain, your mind actually doesn't function normally, I would say. But let's talk about pain in a positive sense. Let's not delve into the negative. I suspect many people have never thought of pain in the positive, but there are so many examples of pain being subjected to positive connotations, positive situations, and people even expressing appreciation for certain pains that they've experienced. Let's talk about athletes. Athletes usually train hard, train for hours, sometimes train for years, each and every day without wavering, just to get to a stage where they might, let's say for a bodybuilder, might pause for just 2 minutes. That's it. But the work put in was significant, and sometimes they sacrifice hours of sleep. Sometimes they sacrifice going to parties. Sometimes, especially the bodybuilders, they don't eat certain foods. They might like chocolate, but at certain seasons, they wouldn't delve into fast foods or anything that is not beneficial to their regimen. So you find that there's a lot of sacrifice, and that's painful. You wouldn't really say, you got used and stuff, but they obviously would like to go to the parties. But you find that sometimes they want to go to a party, they have to stick around and train, maybe sometimes for 7-6 hours straight, depending on the brutality of the sport. You find pain comes especially dedicated to something positive, something you're trying to achieve, can be a very good thing. You find that for athletes, it's very hard to avoid pain. Whether you're a basketballer, you're a martial artist, you in short, a high performer. It's very, very hard to escape pain, nearly impossible.
Sorry to cut you short, but just on that one, I'm reminded of Kobe Bryant. How he embraced the pain. How he embraced pain. With that Mamba mentality of his. So I just wanted to highlight that because I think Kobe is very inspirational when we talk about, embracing pain. I think he's an athlete that we can, point to.
Oh yes, that's a very good example. And you find that for Kobe, he had a very high pain threshold, per se. He is someone who used to wake up at 4 each and every morning. His friends would be asleep, but he would dedicate his time, wake up early, train harder, and only God knows what else he did that he might never have revealed. Yes, so you find for athletes, pain is something that they have to accept to move forward, to move to the next level. Perhaps even in our day-to-day lives, we must accept a certain amount of pain to move forward. Let me give an example of people who have broken up. When you get to use pain in a positive way, people say use that pain to get better. Don't just weep, soak around. It's like, no, you have an advantage at this moment. Use that pain. And even my previous breakups, I found that I usually, when I was alone, I dedicated my time to lifting weights, to reading more books, to doing more. And then when I healed, it's like I had that, but it's like I lost some source of strength. Yes, because pain was more like a fuel in a sense, in a perverted sense. Like you found, yes, it's driving me. Yes, because she left me because I wasn't fit enough, so I have to be fit, and you go and you go, and then after you get over it, and this after months you forget the person exists. It's like, well, what's the driver? Maybe you even get another girl. What's the driver? So it's something. Pain can be used in a very positive sense, but the issue is that with pain, especially with reference to the athletic world, the person who can endure more pain than you is more powerful than you. In the previous one of the previous thresholds, I remember talking about a media boom who said, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the fastest, but I'm really good at suffering. Yes, that's pain, This is someone who can endure so much pain beyond maybe most people's comprehensions, but she moves forward. I'll talk about the Christian community. People who fast. Other people can't just bring themselves to fast even for a few hours. It's like, no, I'm going to die. But you find that other people, I have to pay a price for what I want. And indeed, usually it tends to pan out, being spiritual as it were. You find that people in school have to really dedicate their time to their craft, write their assignments, study. That's not easy at all, but it's painful, but they're willing to endure, they are willing to embrace this moment, this pain, to use it to get to the next level. So for pain as a threshold, I think we must come to the acceptance that even though it's very, very hard, sometimes it's miserable, sometimes it's lonely, sometimes it's horrible, we must accept that if we are willing to use this pain in the positive sense, it will drive us to the next level. It will push us further. You might be in a situation whereby you have a good job, you're married, but you just feel there's something missing. We all have these moments of, there's something missing. I feel genuinely feel I could do more. Perhaps this job has taken up my time, but I feel I'm not where I need to be. And sometimes by comparison, we tend to realize that, but this person is doing this and they're less talented than I am. I could be doing this, but perhaps you're held up by many things and you're haunted, and you know that you need to do more. Sometimes you have to embrace the pain in order to rise, to accept that. Like in previous podcast, I talked about the thresholds of truth, to humble yourself to realize that you could really and genuinely do more, but it requires for you to have a painful conversation again. Yes, a conversation that maybe will burst your bubble of delusion, burst your bubble of fantasy, and get to the path. But also not just because it's painful, but because it's progressive, and it's progressive, and you have to embrace the pain. And sometimes even in a perverted sense, You look at these guys in the gym, beast mode, bro. That's not easy stuff, but well, they're progressing. They're progressing. I once said a quote which said, there's no progress without struggle. Perhaps when we look back in our lives, we tend to realize to say most of the progress that was made was actually born out of struggle, born out of suffering, born out of pain. May you use pain as fuel. May you look at pain as your friend. Yes, a friend that will tell you the truth, even if you don't want to hear it. Your friend that will drive you to greater heights. I wish you well.
Wow, very, very, very insightful. I think pain, you can take up pain as an ally and, reframe your perspective on how you view pain, and, just change and use it to fuel your personal development and just grow from every experience, every threshold, be it the threshold of truth, the threshold of strength and weakness, threshold of pain. Human beings are going through a lot. I think it's very fundamental to say that everybody's going through something, and we just hope that these episodes that we have done will speak to some of the situations that you might be going through, or somebody that is going through similar situations or things that we have alluded to. Do not neglect them. You can share the links, let them listen to these episodes, and be enlightened and truly know that they're not alone, because I feel like the loneliest thing, or the battles that we have to face on our own, only become more lonely and harder when we feel that maybe there's nobody else in the world who would relate to this or who would understand. And with that said, I would like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in.